What is going on, beautiful people? Welcome back. I miss y'all. I know I've been gone for a fat minute, but we're back like we never left. Life gets crazy, but it's always about how you bounce back. So, I hope you guys have a great day, great week, great month of March, but let's get right into it. So everyone bow your head. Lord, I want to thank you for a beautiful and wonderful Monday. Lord, I want to thank you for perseverance. I want to thank you for faith and gratitude as we navigate through this month of March, as we ride the wave and roller coasters of life, that you are always with us and that you are guiding us into the best possible situations that we can be in. Lord, I want to pray for those that are close to me, friends, family, co-workers, and those extended that I may not be in contact with, but that you still share your love with them as you do with me, and you continue to guide them down the right path to their success in the future. And Lord, we praise you, we honor you, we thank you in Jesus' name, amen. What up, y'all? So, hey, I'm not gonna lie, I am hyped because this month has been very productive. And I say that because, you get into a state of flow and things start to open up because you continue to work a plan that you had set for yourself. Now, as myself and those that are watching, or those included that may be super critical, you always believe that there is something better that can be done in the current situation that you're in, whether that be your habits, whether that be your work, anything in particular, your diet, fitness, whatever it may be, mental health. So the biggest factor that I've noticed is you just continue to work and understand that as you continue to put the puzzle pieces in place, that you're going to finish the puzzle at the end of the day. So I say that to say, obviously there's a lot of different arenas in my life that I am actively building in, so that way I can be successful in them, whether that be my business goals, my financial goals, my athletic and fitness goals, and my career goals, and then just relationship, faith, everything. So I really want to dive into how I've been feeling for the month, and I implore you guys to self-reflect and see where you have grown and see where there are areas that you can grow in, because realistically I have been putting into action a lot of the activities that I have lied dormant in previous months and this past year. And what I mean by that is my rate of connecting with people in person and prospecting on LinkedIn and other social medias, to just to be open and meeting people and talking about opportunities, but genuinely getting to know them and understanding that the more I broaden and I grow my network, the better opportunity I have to grow, one, my business, but also my network. And so that's been a big emphasis on that for this month for me, which has been very exciting because I've been dipping back into my bag of people skills and just holding posture. When you have confidence in yourself and you are sure of who you are, a lot of people, no matter what background they are, whatever achievements they may have, you always can hold a candle to anyone, because there's nothing that they can say or do that can deter you from who you are as a person. And so that's extremely powerful, and I love that. So I want to dive into more of some improvements that I've seen on the financial aspect. So for a lot of you guys that don't know, I've had kind of a roller coaster of a employment streak in the year of 2023, where I've had jobs and then I was let go. I had jobs and it wasn't a good fit, and I was scrounging around trying to make sure that I had bread, really, where I had food on the table, and I was making sure that I paid for all of my bills. And it was a little bit of a struggle, I won't lie. 2023 was hard for a lot of people. So now that I finally have some consistency with my work and what I do on my weekends, which I also do work a second job, but I also work my business as well. So, constantly busy, but there's seasons, there's times and reasons for certain seasons. And so for this season, I've really been hammering at the consistency of just knocking out a lot of my consumer debt and just getting back into a positive standing. So that way, realistically, the only things that are really affecting me are my student loans and rent and just regular monthly bills. So we've really made a big dent in that. And so for a lot of you guys who may be in the same boat as far as, oh, I have, a ton of credit card debt, or I have payments that I have to make that might be super high. What I did to help myself just get into a better standing where I paid off all of my credit cards, I was able to become current on money that I owed to my roommate who I gracefully live under, which I really do appreciate him for that. But it's all about where can you cut costs and what's your budget look like, and how much income do you have on a monthly basis that you're able to then put away in order to now take care of a lot of the extra stuff. So that's really what I did. I don't go a day without not checking my budget, not checking my bank. And that's just more of a habit for me, because I understand that sometimes you might have auto subscriptions, and sometimes people believe they have more money than they do because they don't have it allocated to something. So as long as your dollar always has a tag on where it's supposed to go, it's so much easier to track it, and it's so much easier to make sure things get paid for, and you can knock out debt. A lot of times I had extra cash, and instead of just having it sit in my bank account, or like, oh, I want to go out to eat or go spend it, I immediately just sent it to something that I know I can pay off. And it may have put me in a tougher spot later in the week. Maybe I wanted to go out with some friends and I couldn't, because I understood that I was paying something that was detrimental to my financial livelihood. And I just took that on the chin and understood, like, I'm doing this for a reason, and so I will be able to have those good times later on. So it's all about leveraging what you have at the time, and then understanding that there's always going to be a next time. So that's one thing that I've been doing, and as a result of that, my credit score shot way back up, and so now I'm in a really good standing, and I'm putting myself and I'm priming myself into a great position to, one, now transition into a higher earning career field where I can be making double of what I'm making currently right now at BMO Bank. But now this puts me in a new arena where I can start saving more and more money, and I can start looking at properties to purchase and invest in. And now I have more cards and I have more things to play at my disposal. So it's real fun. Now you're starting to get into the Monopoly / you guys have heard of Cash Flow, the board game. That's the kind of arena that I'm working to get into to get out of the rat race. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about by that, look it up. So that's something that I've been doing on the financial side, is just understanding that you can leverage the money that you make, and you can also leverage the credit cards that you have in order to make more money and better your credit. It just depends on what tactics and what information that you have and what you use. So ending with that, now we kind of transition more into business side, which has been very fruitful in the aspect of skill set and just overall growth. So I have a team budding out here in Arizona, and that is something that I'm hammering down because I want this to be a primary base. And at the moment, we are currently growing to almost $1,000 revenue circle at the moment with my current team. And so we're looking to expand that onward and upwards until we are able to now generate a certain amount of money a month. And that is something that I'm excited for, because that requires me to be a better version of myself every single day. And so that means that I really can't lack on anything. And I mean, I'm human, so it's not perfect, but I coined the term, and I'm not the inventor of this term, but this is a motto that I live by, but it's always progress over perfection, because the moment we try to be perfect is the moment that we don't do anything. Because, I mean, you guys can attest to it. The minute you try to be perfect, you get too caught up in your own head, and then you don't do it anyway. So you might as well just do a little bit instead of trying to do everything all at once. So that's super exciting. I know I haven't recorded any footage of me going like door to door or selling in person, and that's something that's going to be coming to the channel very soon, because I want you guys to see how uncomfortable it is, but also understand that there's always a benefit and there's always a reward for those who do what most people won't do. So I have to buy some certain gear so that way I can have it attached to me, and you guys can hear me talk to people at the doors and just do my sales pitch, so that way I continue to grow my clientele and my customer base out here in Phoenix. Excuse me. And so that's something I'm super excited about. And even then, like having goals on how many houses I'm gonna knock on a weekly basis. I know there's people that I partner with that usually use a time basis instead of a quantity basis, but I think in my head and the way I process numbers, if I'm able to at least tackle a certain amount of houses on a weekly basis, then just through sheer numbers and ratios and probability, I will be able to consistently see just results based off of the amount of the quantity that I'm doing. And so that's something that I'm mapping out, I'm looking forward to. Moving on, now we have the athletic/fitness side of things, and I finished my 10-week span of weightlifting and strength building. So now it's all basketball related and making sure that I stay agile. I grow my strength base by maintaining the strength that I currently have and just staying strong. So now I'm working on getting better because we'll have city leagues starting to pop up more in the June/summertime. So I'm gearing up for that because I figured out, and this is just me guesstimating, but giving myself a timeline of understanding that there's different levels to basketball, that if I can get into these spaces and dominate these spaces, it'll allow me to move in other spaces that will push me into a bigger spotlight. So what I mean by that is there's city leagues that go on in Phoenix, Arizona, and if I am able to form teams that one are bought into the fact that we are playing to win, and I'm able to show out, be a team player, and do what I know I can do on the court, win MVP, and just showcase that I am dominant, that will give me one, the leverage, the experience, but also the confidence to do that at a higher level with better competition. And then I take that to that next level, do the exact same thing, boom, dominate, take that to the next level, and then the end goal is to be pro overseas. So that's the game plan. So we're gonna work that plan until it is concluded. And the personal switch that I want to hit on before I end this, and I will work on including more communication from both sides. I know there's not too many people that watch this right now, but I know a lot of it is just me talking to you guys, but I really want feedback and I really want to engage with people who watch this, because I'm not the only one that's going through life, and I'm not the only one that has a big goal, a big dream that they're looking to tackle. And it's the collective of like-minded individuals that will allow people like myself and people like you guys to really, blossom into who they're meant to be. And so hopefully I can be that voice to you guys that allows you to understand that you guys can do whatever you set your mind to. So when I last posted a video, I don't believe I had mentioned the book that I was reading, but it was the book that I finished, and I wanted to share a couple takeaways with you guys. Is the 4 Agreements, and that book was very deep. It was a deep read, and I say that because it was dense in the topics that it was hitting on. It was faith-based in a sense of there were talks of higher powers. However, the premise of it was all about the speech and about your speech and the mindset that you carry and how that determines the life that you envision for yourself. So we all have the capability of imagining a better life or a life that is worse off. So in a sense, and how the book details it, we have the power to create our own heaven and hell. And that's something that's super powerful to me because we control that by the words that we speak. And in doing that, that also attracts people to you based off of whatever you decide to speak. And so you will be surrounded by more negative people the more negative you speak, and vice versa. You will be surrounded by more positive people when you speak positive. And so there are 4 of the 4 agreements that the author mentioned. These are ones that I implemented in my own affirmations, that I will repeat and write out on a daily basis, because I believe that these are things that will help me rewrite the code in my head that basically defaults me into believing that I may not be as worthy or as strong in certain areas that I know I am in. And so the 4 agreements that I want to touch on before I end this video are: I'm impeccable with my words, meaning that whatever I say, I mean, and I'm a man of my word, or I'm a woman of my word. And in today's day and age, and I mean in history in general, that's always important. If you don't honor your word, then your word means nothing. So you always want to make sure that what you speak is truth, and what you speak you uphold to others. Number 2 is I don't assume. So my mom is the person that I always give credit to this phase, but she always told me growing up that assumptions are the mother of all F-ups. Meaning that if you decide to assume any scenario, any choice, any decision on someone else's behalf without asking them, then you're asking for trouble. And so it's better to communicate and ask rather than just to assume. And then the 3rd one was I don't take anything personally. Now this one is tough because a lot of times people will ultimately just take the blame on themselves and internalize a lot of shame or guilt or negative energy that a lot of people will put out on them because they themselves aren't able to internalize it and reflect on it them as a person. So understanding that don't take anything personally, because as long as you yourself are a solid, genuine person, that whatever choice that anyone else makes because of whatever's going on in their life has nothing to do with you. So you never want to take that personal. And I'm speaking from my own experience because that's something that I have to work on and I currently work on. But yeah, you're fine. Like, there's nothing that you have done and can do that's gonna influence somebody's choice. They're gonna make it for themselves whether or not you do it or you tell them to or you don't tell them to. And the last one is I always do my best. And it's pretty self-explanatory. Every day we wake up, we have the opportunity to be better than the person we were yesterday. And that also goes into my mission statement and the vision that I have for my business and my life is every day we wake up, we want to be 1% better than we were the day before. And so that's where we come into progress over perfection, and in general just being better. There's no point in staying stagnant. Just like a river, if a river stops flowing, it's dead. But the minute that there's any kind of motion and it's starting to actually flow, there's an abundance of life. And so instead of being a dead and stagnant river in your own life, move those rocks out of the way, move that blockage that's stopping you from growing and flowing, and continue to be full of life. So I know this was a longer video. I had to make up for the fact that I haven't talked to you guys in a month. But we'll get back on it, and you guys will be seeing more of me. You will be seeing more of what I am doing on a weekly basis, I would say, because the ship is moving, and like a lot of my mentors and my coaches say, rising tide raises all ships. So make sure that y'all ships are in the water. With that, I'm out. I'll catch y'all on the flip side. Later.